Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things. And we sit today, we got a pretty interesting show in store for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. Also, if you're not checking out the Dreamers Pro podcast, if you want our content before it drops on YouTube, be sure to check out the Dreamers Pro podcast. And also, if you're not following us on Facebook, be sure to go over there and follow us on Facebook. Dreamers Pro is the name of the page. Let me get into this topic here. So this is kind of like a last minute thing, right? We had already kind of prepared what we wanted to publish today. What we wanted to publish today. And then this story just popped up out of nowhere. And it's a story that's related to the Lakers' search for a new head coach. And apparently what had happened was Adrian Wojnarowski, who works at ESPN, basically, dropped some big news. And I want to read from an ESPN article. The headline says, sources, Lakers preparing massive offer to UConn's Dan Hurley. It then continues on to say the Los Angeles Lakers are targeting UConn's men's basketball coach Dan Hurley as the franchise's next coach and are preparing a massive long-term contract offer to bring the back-to-back NCAA national champion to the NBA. Sources told ESPN the Lakers had preliminary contact with Hurley, and the sides are planning to escalate discussions in the coming days, sources told ESPN. Hurley has been at the forefront of the Lakers' search from the beginning of the process, even while the organization has done its due diligence interviewing several other candidates, sources said. Lakers Vice President of Basketball Operations and General Manager Rob Pelinka and Governor Jeannie Buss are eager to formally discuss with Hurley their vision of marrying his dominant program, but built upon his tactical acumen and his elite player development with the storied Laker brand, sources say. So that's what that report said. This information is just coming out. So what happened? In the midst of all of this, some of us have been wondering, well, what happened to JJ Redick? Because if we, as all of us know by now, the name that we kept on hearing, at least over the last 2 weeks or so, is JJ Redick. All of us have been speculating that the Lakers are going to go after JJ Redick. So for this news to come out, it kind of makes us begin to wonder, well, what were all of those other reports that we heard about JJ Redick becoming the Lakers head coach? What happened? How did his name just disappear? And it seems like two people have a theory as to the reason that JJ Redick's name fell out of contention or fell out of the running for the Lakers' new head coaching position. And those two people are Skip Bayless and Paul Pierce, and they reveal their shocking position to us today on Undisputed. So those are the comments that we want to focus in on today. But before we even get into what they had to say, this video is brought to you by sponsor PrizePicks, which is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. PrizePicks is really simple. Instead of just selecting a team, you just select two or more players, pick more or less their projected stats, and then you place your entry. For example, this week, I'm selecting two entries. Stephen Curry for more than 25 points, and then I got Anthony Davis for more than 2 blocks, and Damian Lillard for more than 4 3-pointers made. PrizePicks is also the only daily sports platform with an injury insurance policy. So for example, if you have a player who gets injured in the first half and doesn't return to the second half, that player gets automatically rebooted. What I also love about PrizePicks is that it offers weekly promotions like Taco Tuesdays. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit matchup up to $100. That's go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is want to quickly play what they had to say today on Undisputed and why they believe that JJ Redick's name is no longer in the running, and I'm going to come back and react to their comments. Take a listen to them there.
Oh, he right next door to his brother. His brother coaches at ASU.
Yeah, and so I think it was a process of elimination.
Yeah.
And that nobody would touch it.
This does not pass the smell test for me because all the gambling sites have reported for at least 2 weeks that JJ Redick is a done deal.
What did I tell you?
You said you talked to somebody
that
inside.
was a month ago.
At least a month ago.
That was a month
Way
ago.
in the beginning.
Said it's not
because
happening.
Darvin was fired on May the 3rd, and this is June the 6th.
Yeah.
So it's right after a couple of days.
I told you,
after.
Skip, I said it's not happening.
Okay. Well, that apparently is becoming correct. But why would you go through multiple interviews with J.J. Redick, and then Borrego, and then Sam Cassell, and then Adelman? They have interviewed, they sat down with all these, reportedly, I wasn't there, but reportedly multiples with a couple of them, and at least one with the others.
When have they never done that? They've always done that.
Okay.
When they have not. They've always done that.
Woj is reporting that the primary focus, the target from day one, was Dan Hurley. I just find that a little hard to believe because I'm more in Paul's camp, like maybe these things didn't go so well. Yeah. Maybe they had JJ in their sights because the Athletic was just, and they're really good at what they do. They've just been flat out reporting it's a done deal because they see the next Pat Riley. I've read it for 2 weeks now.
I believe you.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, believe them.
I think JJ didn't want the job.
Well, it well could have happened. They could have talked and talked and talked it into oblivion where he finally just said, you know what? There are too many strings attached. You know, you got too many inter-office politics. We've read all the stories about you got the sort of the Kobe clique inside the Lakers and the Magic clique inside the Lakers. And maybe JJ finally said, you know what? I got a really good gig. I'm really enjoying my podcast and my television. And why would I inflict this upon myself? It's highly possible. All the rest of these guys, except for Sam Cassell, I think both of you liked the idea of Sam Cassell, right?
I didn't like it for Sam, no.
Yeah, I like it.
You did not?
I didn't.
Okay, but you do like him.
I do like Sam as a head coach in the NBA, but just not this seat.
Okay, so now you're really down on the job itself.
On the job itself.
Okay.
I just think it's not a great
Even
job
though,
right
to
now.
Key's point, I mean, you walk in the door and you got 2 top 10 players. I think they played like top 10s to me last year.
Yeah,
maybe they're hard to juggle and handle.
This is a job, it's a hot seat job.
Yeah.
Hot seat how?
You're on the hot seat. If things don't go well on LeBron-led teams, you're on the hot seat.
So you heard what they had to say. Essentially what they're saying is they think that J.J. Redick withdrew from the coaching interview process because he maybe got fed up with the interview process and probably looked at the situation and said, maybe it's not worth the stress. Now, if you listen to some of the things that Skip Bayless said, he brought up some points that we rarely touch on, which is the various interest groups and the cliques that are within the Lakers organization, the Kobe guys, the Magic Johnson guys. Of course, you have the Clutch Sports guys, and you have all of these people. And there's always been a conversation surrounding the Lakers organization over the last 5 to 7 years of who's really running the Lakers. Is it Jeannie Buss? Is it Rob Pelinka? Is it Kurt Rambis and his friend? Like, there've always been these rumors that are kind of circulated around the Los Angeles Lakers. So for J.J. Redick's name to just all of a sudden drop out of the running, and now we're hearing that it's going to be this head coach, it left a lot of us scratching our heads. And what Paul and Skip are saying is that he probably turned down the position because it probably was a little bit too chaotic for him. Now, the question is, could there be some truth to that? Could there have been a scenario in which J.J. Redick probably looked at the situation at hand and said, you know what, man, there are too many moving parts, and if this thing goes wrong, it can really go wrong, and they're most likely going to blame it on me. I think that could have played a role. This is just looking at the situation from the outside. We don't know what's happening within the confines of the Los Angeles Lakers organization. And we can understand that because we know that over the last, 4 years, whenever things go wrong, one of the people that the Lakers always usually blame is their head coach. And it's usually their coach that they get rid of first, and then they trade players, right? They fired Frank Vogel. They just fired Darvin Ham, and now they have a new head coach. So the Lakers have a history of not being patient with coaches, especially when they don't yield their desired results. So to me, I thought it was a bit surprising because that had never occurred to me. I was just wondering, well, what happened to J.J. Redick? Because all of these various news publications and different, podcasts, and all of them are saying J.J., and then all of a sudden, we're no longer hearing about J.J. Redick. And I was like, okay, this is a pretty interesting take on what possibly could have happened. So what I want to know from you guys, what do you think about the theory that Skip Bayless and Paul Pierce said? Do you think that JJ Redick probably looked at the situation and said, man, this is a little bit too problematic, a little bit too chaotic? Or do you think that maybe he didn't pass the interview process? And just one quick thing though, that couldn't even be a possibility. Do you know why? Because just about 2 or 3 days ago, we were hearing reports that the Lakers believe that JJ Redick could be their Pat Riley. Think about that. They were saying that JJ Redick could potentially be the next Pat Riley for the Lakers. And then all of a sudden, he's no longer in the running and they're going to go give it to another head coach. Well, that's awfully suspicious, right? So whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And we catch you guys on the next show. Peace.